everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So I'm here with my winter makeup bag, and in this video I'll just be sharing all of the makeup that I'm using this winter. So I don't actually have a makeup bag that I use, but that's just what I've called these videos. I used to do I think I did makeup bags every 2 weeks a few years ago, and I had my actual makeup bag. But now I don't put stuff in my makeup bag. That's only if I'm traveling, but I do put stuff in just little containers. I use a lot of old cleaned out candle jars. So yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to share the makeup that I've been using this winter. So I will get started. So firstly, my primer. I'll try to go in the order that I apply stuff on my face. So I start off with my primer. What I've been using is the Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. I really like this. It's good for winter because it's not too heavy. It is more of a hydrating type of product. It's not a silicone primer. It's more of a lotiony sort of formula. I prefer that. So I do like this. So yeah, that is what I've been using for primer. And then for my foundation, BB creams, I have a few different things. They all are not exactly the right color for me. I have some that are too light and then some that are too dark. So I have been sort of mixing these together. But what I've been using is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus Mattifying Foundation. So this is the lightest shade. It's in Alabaster. And usually I just go for the lightest shade. This is too light for me even. So, yeah. And the mattifying formula, I have oily skin, but I don't always want something super matte. So, it's not it's an amazing, I love everything about it, but the color, the formula, I'm not quite into that super matte foundation. So, I have been using this. I do like to mix it. Today I mixed it with the Dr. Jart BB cream. This is the Radiance BB cream, so together I like the formula a little better, and then this is a little bit too dark for me, so mixing it together makes it a better shade match. So I'm also using the Dr. Jart Beauty Balm, and then I have my other BB cream. This is the Yadah, I believe is the brand, the Silky Fit Concealer BB. So this one is actually a little lighter, so I'll give you kind of a comparison on my hand. It's a little bit lighter than the, it's actually a pretty good shade match too, but it's definitely lighter than the Dr. Jart one. Well, maybe it's just more cool toned. So this one is Dr. Jart, and then this one is the Yadah one. I mean, they don't look that different now, but, maybe you can tell the difference there a little more. So that is the Dr. Jart one. It's definitely a much more yellow. But I feel with BB creams that they're not super high coverage, so even if the color isn't the best match, it still kind of works because it can kind of blend out a bit more. So I have those for my BB creams. I actually like mixing these two together as well to get a better sort of color match. And then the other foundation that I'm using is the Urban Decay Naked Skin. So I just got this in December, and I like it. It's a much more liquidy formula, so I haven't tried mixing it with my BB creams or this other foundation because these are kind of thicker formulas, more creamy sort of formulas. So since the formulas are so different, I haven't tried mixing this with anything. But the thing with this is also the lightest shade, 0.5. It's almost a little too dark for me as well. So that's kind of the struggle that I have. I'm sure lots of people have this struggle, but it's so hard to find a foundation that actually matches. It's either too light, too dark, too yellow. So yeah. But those are the foundations, trying to make them work by sort of mixing them together, kind of getting the perfect combination for them. But those are the foundations I'm using. Then I have my concealer, which is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly. This one actually is a pretty good color match. I've continued to like repurchase this one. See if I can do a swatch of it on my hand. So that's the NARS. So you can see compared to the other, like the BB creams, like this one is much closer to my skin tone. So I really do like this. So maybe I should look into the NARS foundation that's in a complementary color to this. But anyway, yeah, that's the concealer that I've been using this winter. What is next? My powders. So I have two powders that I'm using. They're both translucent powders. So I have the Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder. This one is really nice. I've really been enjoying that, but I like to use a powder. Even in the winter, my skin is still super oily, so I do like to use a powder to set my foundation. So I use that one, or I use the Physician Formula. It's a translucent mineral airbrushing pressed powder. It has an SPF 30. So I talked about this one, how the packaging wasn't really great. Like it broke where it was connected, where the product hand was connected here, and then the like latch at the front had broken. So I moved the pan over to this Becca Compact. So that's the powder itself. It's just in Becca packaging, but that's a nice powder, like a pressed translucent powder. I do like this one for my purse because it does have the SPF, so if I want to sort of, you know, go outside during the day. I always had trouble, like I don't want to apply like a liquid SPF over my makeup, but what if I want to go outside during the day and I put on my SPF in the morning, and you know, you're supposed to like reapply every few hours. So I did like the idea of like powder SPF. So I do like that one as well, and I also use that to set my foundation in the morning. It's kind of nice, especially if I use like a BB cream with an SPF, to then like add like the SPF as the like finishing powder as well. So I have that for my powder. Then I have my setting spray. This is the CoverFX Illuminizing Setting Spray. I've been enjoying this. I haven't been using it for that long. I was using my Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray, and then when I ran out of that, I started using this one. This one is nice. I love the mister on it. The mister is so fine. It just gives like a very fine mist over the face. Like, such a great mister. So, I have been enjoying this one so far. So that's the setting spray. And then for blush, I have my two blushes I'm working on this year. So I have my cream blush, which is the Josie Maran Coconut Watercolor Cheek Gelee in Poppy Paradise. But that's what that one looks like. This one's very pretty. Like, it looks like it would be really vibrant, and it can be, but you can definitely like sheer it out, and it's really pretty. And I like layering this with powder blush, and the powder blush that I've been using is my Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Exposed. And this is a great sort of everyday blush. It's just very sort of neutral, like a nude color. I really, really love this, and I've been loving this winter. So that is the blush combination that I've been using. Then I have my highlighter. So I have my Benefit Watts Up little highlighter if I want a little cream highlighter. I'm not a super big highlighter person, but sometimes I feel like a little bit of highlighters, so I have kind of this as an option. And then I have a few powder highlighters. So I have the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in Highlight 01. And both of my, or actually all my highlighters are just little minis because I just don't use it that often. But that's what that one looks like. It's just kind of a typical highlighter, but it is really pretty. So if I'm feeling like I want a little bit of glow, I go for that. And I also have the Josie Maran Argan Enlightenment Illuminating Veil. Now this one confuses me a little bit. I have used it as a highlight. I also just take this all over my face. So I'm not really sure if it's supposed to just be a highlight or you can use it sort of as a finishing powder, but you know, I kind of use it both ways. It's definitely a more sort of natural highlight than the Laura Mercier. The Laura Mercier is a little bit more like pigmented, but it's not like a crazy highlight. It's definitely on the scale of highlights, I would say the Laura Mercier is still on the more natural end, but this is even more of a natural type of highlight. So I do like that as well. And then for my finishing powder, I used the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Ethereal Light. So that's what that one looks like. And I'm not sure, there's like this little X. It looks like a product or like a blush color like in the middle of this. Or I'm not sure if that means I'm going to hit pan on this soon. But yeah, I just kind of discovered recently this little X. So, you know, kind of interesting what that is. But this is the more like white powder. It's really pretty all over the face. And especially if I go a little heavy-handed with blush, this is nice to like tone it down a little bit. So I do love wearing that as well. So I think that's all the face items. And now I can get into the eye stuff. So for my eyeshadow primer, of course, I have my NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I don't know, I've just been using this for years. I always repurchase it. I like that it doesn't add any color. So I use that as my eyeshadow primer. And then I have my cream eyeshadows. So I still using my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Yogurt. It's a nice shade. You can kind of see how much I have left of that. But I've also been using my Anastasia Brow Duality. I've started to use more so the matte shade as like a brow bone highlight, or I'll put this down and kind of blend it out and then follow up with a powder eyeshadow. But that's kind of one side is more shimmery and then there's the matte side. So I've been using this winter. And then for my powder eyeshadow, I've been using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I use this palette like the second half in December, and it's my palette of the month for January. And I don't know, I've really been enjoying this palette. It's definitely been my like winter palette. I just think it has a great combination of colors. It has a lot of, like, if you just kind of look at this side, it's a very kind of a more neutral sort of palette, but then it brings in sort of the berry tones. I just like that it has some color, but it's also very neutral as well, or like more like nude type of shades. I guess not necessarily neutral. It's very like warm toned, but I don't know, I just love this palette. I've really been enjoying it. So that has been my winter eyeshadow palette. And then for my liners, I have quite a few. I used to be more like restrictive, like with my makeup bags, like I only have one eyeliner, but now I'm sort of like, you know, I want to have everything out that I want to use, and even if I'm not using it on a daily basis, I still want it as an option. So I have the eyeliner I'm trying to use up, which is my Mally liner in Milk Chocolate. Just have a little teeny bit of that left. And then I've also been using my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Desperation. This is the pencil that I am focusing on for 2018. It's a more gray liner. It's like a matte gray liner. And then something I always have in my makeup bag is my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Mushroom. I love this for the lower lash line. If I want to kind of do something on the lower lash line, make my look a little bit more dramatic, I love using this. And it's great because it's not like a black, so it's not super dramatic. It's just like a very wearable way to kind of have some color on the lower lash line. So that's in Mushroom. It's kind of more like a little bit of a shimmer, sort of more of a pewter type shade. Super pretty. And then I have a few black liners. So I don't always wear a black liner, but if I want to, I like to have some close at hand. So I have one of these marker liners. This is from NYX. It's the super skinny eye marker. So this one, if I want to do a more dramatic look, is a good one that I like to reach for. And then I also have a black liner pencil. And this is one from Marc Jacobs. I got this in one of my Sephora orders that I made kind of near November or December. It was one of like the promo codes that has a little like set of different products. But this is the highlighter gel crayon in the color Blacker. So it's a very nice black liner, very creamy. So I do like having that as an option as well. Then for my mascara, I have a few different things I'm currently using. So I have the Lancome Hypnos Drama Mascara. And I really like the Lancome mascaras. I feel like the first one of these Hypnos Dramas, or I think it was the Hypnos Star mascara that I really loved. But they have a few of the mascaras with like a similar name. So I'm not quite sure what's the one that I loved was. But this one, you can see the brush on it is a little bit kind of twisted. I do really like this one. So I really enjoy using that. And then I have the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. I got both of these in one of those Sephora Favorites like Lash Stash to Go sets. So I'm trying to decide when I use them, like compare them against each other to see which one I like more. I really love the Tarte one. So you can see the brush on this is just like straight. So that's the sort of like brush I prefer. I really love both of these mascaras. The Tarte one I should let go. Put in my empties, but I love it, so it's like I don't want to let it go. I want to try to get as much use out of it as possible. So I'm still using the Tarte one, and then the other one I use is the CoverGirl, the Supersizer. So this one I sort of use as like a second mascara. So if I use like the Lancome or the Tarte, then I can go through and run this brush through my lashes, and you can see it. The brush is very different. It looks like there's no bristles on it. So it's a different sort of brush. It took me a little bit to get used to, but now I really like it as kind of a second layering mascara. Or if my lashes are a little bit too clumpy, not that these ones are super clumpy, but it would be good for that as well. And I also like using this on the bottom lash line because it doesn't have a super like crazy brush that's going to get everywhere. So I love those three mascaras, and this one works really well with either of these ones. Then for my brows, I have this little sample from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a sample of the Brow Wiz in soft brown. So I just have a teeny bit of this left. I thought I'd be able to like twist up more product, but I don't think that I can. But I've kind of been enjoying using some like colored brow products. Usually I just use the clear brow gel, but I've kind of been interested in maybe trying out some more, or buying like a tinted sort of brow product. Last year I got a sample of the Benefit Gimme Brow, and I was seriously considering buying it, but then it got like recalled. So maybe when they come back with it, I will consider purchasing that, but I would say this one would also be a contender for something that I'd want to purchase. So definitely enjoying kind of experimenting more with brow products. And then I have my clear brow gel. For me, my brows, like, they're definitely like prominent. I don't need something that's really gonna add like a lot to them, but I do need something to keep them in place, so I use the Make It Forever brow gel. The brush on this is like really scary looking. But it doesn't, I mean, it looks like the brow gel would go everywhere. It actually doesn't, but the brush on it is just kind of scary looking. But I do enjoy this product. So that is my brows product. And then lastly, I have my lip stuff. So I have a ton of stuff for lips. So I have all this stuff that I'm trying to use up this year, but then I also have some of my newer lip products. So I've kind of learned with, especially lip stuff, I like to just have a lot of options. That way, like every day I can kind of be like, what am I feeling about? What am I wanting to wear today? Or like, what sort of makeup look have I done? What sort of lip would complement it? So I have a lot of lip stuff. I'll start with my lip glosses. These are all the products that I'm trying to use up this year for my lip glosses. So I have the Benefit Sugar Bomb Ultra Plush Lip Gloss. I have this in my purse. It's just a really pretty sort of warm toned. It has a little bit of shimmer to it. It's just super pretty. So I really like that. If I want something a little more kind of warm toned, it actually goes really well with the Fresh Sugar Lip Treatment and Honey. I think these pair together really well, but I'll talk about my Fresh Sugar Lip Treatments in a second. So I have that for a lip gloss option. And then I have the Buxom Full On Lip Cream in Berry Blast, just a pretty berry shade. This is a very like pigmented gloss. I guess I can do swatches of these. Let's see. So, let's see, Benefit Sugar Bomb. And then the the Buxom Berry Blast. Let's do a swatch of that. And the Buxom ones are really nice because they have that like pepperminty scent to them. So this is the Benefit Sugar Bomb, and that's Berry Blast. So it's, you can see this one actually goes on more sheer than it is kind of swatching, but this one is definitely more vibrant, sort of lip cream sort of gloss. It's not super like sheer. So those are those two options. And then I also have the Sephora Collection Oil Infusion in Bubbly Grenadine. This is the third sort of lip gloss I'm trying to use up this year, so let's do a swatch of this one as well. It's hard to swatch on my right hand because I have my foundation swatches on the other hand. Okay, so this one is definitely more sheer. In the packaging it looks like it'd be really crazy, but here's the swatch of this. Very sheer color, but it does give a little bit of a tint. So those are sort of the lip gloss options, kind of different things. And then I have my Fresh Sugar lip treatments. I always have some of these that I'm using. So I already mentioned the Fresh Sugar lip treatment in Honey. This I currently have in my purse. I really love this. It's very like warm toned. I love these because they give a little bit of color. Some of them are more pigmented as far as the color payoff than others, but they just give a little bit of color, but they're super hydrating. I find that they're really nice to reapply throughout the day because it gives you a little bit of color, but it's not something you need like a mirror for. It can really mess up. So I really love this one. So I'll do a swatch of this. Let's see. Let's do that here. But I think of all the Fresh Sugar lip treatments, I've tried a lot of the shades, and Honey's just been my favorite. I don't know why, but it's just really pretty. So that's Honey. And then I have one in Rosé, and this one I like using like when I first start doing my makeup. I'll like apply this, and then I can wear this on its own, but usually I layer something on top of it. Like if I want to wear a gloss or a lipstick, I like having this one on, and it does give a bit of a tint, but it's not the most pigmented in terms of color. So yeah, even the swatch, you can't even see a color. It gives it just a slight tint. It's not entirely clear, but I don't know if you can even see it. You can kind of see there's a little bit of a shade, but it's definitely nowhere as pigmented as like the Honey one. So I really like that more as like a lip balm. And then I have a few more of the Fresh Sugar lip treatments. So for Christmas, I got a set of 6 of the little like deluxe sizes. 3 of them are in shades that I already have. So there's one in Honey. So once I use up that, then I can start working on the new one I have. There's one in Rosé, so I have to use up this one first. And there's a clear one. But I've started to use the ones that are in the more berry shades, and I find that this is really nice with the Anastasia like more berry palette. So I've really been enjoying playing around with these. So these 3 shades are in Tulip. I'll do a swatch of that. So Tulip is definitely a more sheer shade. So there's Tulip. So you can see it's kind of the pigmentation sort of a little bit more than the Rosé, definitely not as much as the Honey, but that's Tulip. And then there's Poppy, which is the more mid-tone berry shade. Just swatch of that as well. So they definitely grow in the pigment of them as the shades get a little bit darker. But that is Poppy. So definitely more pigmented. So I want to do a little bit more of a berry lip. There's that option. And then the final one is actually in the shade Berry. I'll do a swatch of that. This is definitely the most pigmented of the 3. Well, actually, now that I've swatched it on my hand, I would say it's about as pigmented as Poppy was. But there's Berry. So you can see those are those 3 shades. So some different berry options, and it's nice if I want to not actually wear a lipstick, something a little more sheer than a lipstick. I do like those options. So I love the Fresh Sugar lip treatments, and then the other favorite kind of lip formula would be between the Fresh and the Bite Amuse Bouche lipsticks. And I have 5 of them currently that I'm using. So they're all the little minis. I love the little minis because I can use like a lot of different colors and play around with them. So I have 5 that I currently have that I'm using. So I have the 2 that I'm trying to use up this year, which are in Pepper and Honeycomb. I don't know. I'm just showing you the packaging. Let me do swatches of these as well. Let me try that on my other hand. Maybe that would work. So Honeycomb, more nude shade. I really like Honeycomb. It's really pretty on its own. And I also like layering it with other stuff as well. So that is Honeycomb. I really like it. I really love sort of warm tones. Like, it's sort of a good complement. Not that I wear them together, but the honey from the Fresh Sugar lip treatment and then the Bite one, I feel they're kind of comparable sort of colors. So I love both of those. Then I have Pepper. That's another shade that I'm trying to use up this year. So this one is great, like everyday type of shade. So there's Pepper. So I love that one. And then I have Fig. It's a more pink shade. This one, I don't necessarily wear it on its own all the time. I love, though, pairing it, mixing it with Honeycomb. It makes it more of like a mauve shade. But this is what Fig looks like. But it is nice to have sort of a pink option. And then I have my 2 newest Bite Amuse Bouche lipsticks that I, Sephora has like a 2 set of the Bite lipsticks, and I bought these with the November VIB sales. So I'm currently wearing the shade Thistle, which is a more like a cool tone mauve shade. I'll do a swatch of it. This one is really pretty with the Modern Renaissance palette. I like how it pairs. So that is Thistle. And then finally I have, in that little set of the 2 set, it also had Rhubarb. So Rhubarb is definitely more like a rosy type of shade. So this is Rhubarb. So again, this was Honeycomb, Pepper, Fig, Thistle, and Rhubarb. And I love just the variation of all of these shades. So I have kind of all the options. If I want to go for a lipstick, I have different shades I can choose from. And then if I want to do something more sheer, I love the Fresh Sugar lip treatments. So definitely the Bite and the Fresh are my favorite like lip formulas. I just love something that's very like comfortable. I don't really love like liquid lipsticks or something super drying. So I just love having multiple colors in my favorite formulas. So that's all for the makeup. I did want to quickly mention the perfumes that I've been loving this winter. Firstly, I have a new one to my collection. This is one that I got for Christmas, but I've really been loving it. It's the Argan iCat Jasmine, and I discovered this one earlier in 2017. I did, I think it was like 28 days of perfume. I'm not sure how many days it was, but I just tried out all my different perfume samples, and I like discovered this one. This is just a very like pure jasmine set, and I just really love it. So I've definitely been wearing that one this winter. Another jasmine scent that I've been wearing is the Terry Mugler Alien. This is a more, I guess I've seen it described as a more like synthetic jasmine, but there's just something about this one that I really love, but it's just one that I wear in the winter. So I just have like a little purse spray of it, but I've definitely been enjoying this one as well. And then a few more. I have another one from Argan. It's in the Water Lily Sun. This is the original Argan scent that I sort of fell in love with. I just have a roller ball of this one. I have a few other like small deluxe sizes of this, but the combination, this one has like the water lily scent, like that sort of aquatic, like floral. It also has, I think it has a little bit of jasmine in it as well. just really kind of drawn to those jasmine type scents. And it also has a little bit of bergamot, so you get a little bit of the citrus. So I just find the blend of this one to be really, really great. So I'm loving that one as well. And then of course I have my little roller balls of my Elizabeth and James Nirvana, the black and the white. I don't know, I love these as well. So that's something I kind of always have on hand in case I want to wear these. So those are the perfumes that I've been wearing this winter, and that is everything. I know this has kind of turned into a long video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. I just love sharing the products that I'm currently using and loving. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.